Hi, this is Dr. Jim Fazone. I'm here with Gary Mattia, and you are in the principal's office.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Fazone, principal of the SciPEC Center. I'm here with Gary Mattia. He's principal of the Assiping Center. And as usual, our producer and director, Nick Sikowski, is in the studio. And we have a special guest today. And you are in the principal's office. Mr. Mattia, could you introduce our special guest for today?
Sure. Our special guest today is a teacher, a Spanish teacher from Assiping, Julie Trauger. And she's going to talk a little bit about her program and what she's been doing under these virtual classes. And she's also going to give us a little information on our yearbook too, coming up near the end of the year. So Julie, what have you been doing in your classes, to go through the virtual learning with your Spanish students?
Well, hello, everybody. So, bienvenidos. So, yes, I have definitely, this has been a learning experience for myself as well. So, I have been trying my best to incorporate as much, technology and interactive games and online resources into my curriculum as much as possible in order for my students to benefit from this circumstance or these circumstances as of right now. So, I am also trying to incorporate a lot of different very relevant concepts or topics that are going on right now. So, for instance, my Spanish 2 class, we're doing a unit on technology, which is very appropriate because, that's what we're learning right now. So what I just had them do currently is a project or an investigation where they were researching how other Spanish-speaking countries are dealing with remote learning as of right now. And if they're doing hybrid, if they're back in person, any challenges that remote learning, presented for any of their teachers and how they went about that is also. And so the fact that we have the internet at our fingertips has really helped also with a lot of my different types of research projects that I like to do anyway with each of my curriculums and my different levels. So I teach Spanish 1, 2, and 3. And also for my Spanish 1 class, we're doing a unit on healthcare, which is very appropriate for the Health Science Academy. And as of right now, they're researching different types of natural medicines that are used throughout Spanish-speaking countries, and then also their take on modern medicine. So they're kind of comparing and contrasting and forming their own opinions about what is more appropriate and what is better for everybody's health.
Thanks, Julie.
So Julie, we started, about a year ago with the virtual teaching and learning, and it was a new process at the time. I kind of think as we move forward, it's probably going to be something that we're going to implement and utilize more than we had in the past. Do you find that as we move forward, we're getting better at it as teachers, as students, as principals? Is the process improving skill level wise and efficiency wise as time goes on?
Yes, I definitely think we are moving forward. I feel a little bit more capable and more efficient, with my technology and delivering my lesson plans, more effectively than I was back in September. And students also, my students are wonderful about adapting, to new regimens and new routines, and they're very good at technology. So I feel that even from the beginning, they were already had a good grasp on, handing things in electronically, checking their emails constantly, coming up with some really good online games and resources. So they are progressing in that way, becoming more, better at technology also, as I am myself too.
And I know, Julie, you also help us when we need someone to do translations for parents who have difficulty, with English, but do speak fluent Spanish. And you've been there for us to help out those situations and bring the teachers in and talk to them about their students' progress. So we appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I know coming up is as we get near the end of the year, we worry about a few things. We worry about graduation. We worry about pictures. We worry about the prom, and we worry about the yearbook. So I know over at Assiping, you've been doing some work on the yearbook. Did you want to share what's going on there?
Yes, absolutely. I have a wonderful yearbook committee, and I usually do. I have really, really dedicated members. And this has been a challenge. I'm not going to lie, especially because we're so used to being in school, having our picture days scheduled, having pictures of our certain events, such as Cultural Day, Winter Festival, and being on site. So it has been a challenge. However, my members are great about taking screenshots of certain events. People are turning in pictures or sending me pictures of their remote learning experience. Also, with the individual pictures, I'm encouraging all students to send an appropriate individual picture of themselves for the yearbook. So that way every grade is going to have their own page as usual, trying to keep things as normal as possible and as consistent as possible, but also have to come up with some very creative ways for that as well. So we're doing the best that we can. And just to keep in mind, there is the deadline for the individual pictures to be sent, which is April 16th. If they could send that to me by then, grades 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then also we're having a cover contest for the yearbook, which is due at the end of the month too. And then I believe both links are posted at the bottom of this YouTube video. So if anybody's interested in information for that, please do take a look.
So, Julie, have you noticed any positives of the virtual teaching and learning? And I know we're all excited about getting back to class. We're all excited about being able to have human interaction. And there's just a group dynamic that takes place when people get together. But has there been some positives, if any, with the virtual teaching and learning, that lessons that we're going to carry with us down the road?
Yes, I definitely believe there have been a lot of positive experiences, especially with working with my students one-on-one a little bit more, with the ability to email them back and forth, to give them more feedback with their work a little quicker than usual. Because when you are in the classroom, you are in front of about 10, 15 students. So it is a little difficult to go from one student to the next. However, working online, I'm able to kind of zoom in and see what they're each working on, maybe write down a little message, some feedback. So that has the interaction with my students has gotten, if not better, I mean, it's different. It's definitely different. But that has improved. And also with their creativity too, because they're so good about working online and technology. So they're able to incorporate a lot of that into their projects too.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie. Dr. Frazone?
Yes. Okay. So what I had noticed, Julie, to add to piggyback on what you were saying was, and I taught a class in school community relations at one point, and what they said with technology, especially when you're talking about the text, there are different levels of communication that take place. Face-to-face is probably the best way to see emotion and feel what's going on with the other person. The next level down would probably be what we're doing right now, some type of video. Below that would probably be the email, the things that are in text. And you have to watch because humor can be lost in text. Things can be misinterpreted in text. And then that actual text that goes on the phone is probably the quickest. So again, Gary and I are not as young as probably anybody that's around the school. And I used to use the old rotary telephone. I tend to pick the phone up and call more often, but I still feel I get a little bit more out of a phone call than I do text and the emails. But the nice thing about the email, I can put it out at 3 a.m. and someone can look at it the next morning. I don't really want to call anybody at 3:30 in the morning. That would be rude. But do you find different levels of communication is somewhat of an issue when it comes to the face-to-face versus the virtual?
Yes, I agree with that. So yeah, video conferencing, face-to-face, you can get your message across and you can read people a lot more clearly. Versus sometimes, yes, emails do get interpreted a little bit differently, especially with our students with their age group. They are sensitive, so you have to really be careful, with your tone and make sure it comes across as more encouraging versus as they would view it maybe as discouraging. So that's just something to really take into consideration on my part as their teacher, to always make them feel good. And then I'm not reprimanding them. I'm trying to push them to do better, but that can be a challenge to make sure that your wording does come off, not as negative, just definitely more so in a positive way.
Yeah, and I think we have to watch when the computer starts thinking for us, and we start a word and it finishes the word. I always like to go back and look and say, what? I didn't say that, and
Yes.
nor do I want to say that to anybody, let alone to someone who signs my check or something, for crying out loud. So you really, you have to keep an eye on that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Julie, we want to thank you for coming into the principal's office today. I think you answered some questions. You shared with us what you're doing and gave out some great information on the yearbook and whatnot. And on the behalf of Dr. Frazone, myself and Nick, we'd like to again thank you, and we really appreciate you spending time in the principal's office today. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Okay, adios.
Okay, bye-bye, and thanks for being with us,
Thank
Julie, and we'll
you.
see you next week in the principal's office. Bye-bye.
Bye.